So my friend Eve told me she's doing some kind of video project. So, oh, I think that's her. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Eve, what's up? So what are you calling me about? What is this video you were telling me you wanted me to work on?
My grandma's birthday is coming up, and I kind of just want to, like, make something for Miney, or, like, about Miney for the fam.
Miney, she's got that crazy house, right? That we went to a couple times?
Yeah, it kind of is, like Tudor style. My grandfather, like, redid it in, like, a Tudor style. I mean, it's for her birthday, but, I mean, I think it would just be nice to get some cool shots of the house, because it's, like, the house is, like, so important to, like, my family, and especially since my grandfather, like, made it how it is. It feels like kind of like an extension of him, like a part of him. I want to document it because it does feel magical, and, like, it feels magical for all the cousins that grew up there.
Why don't you could just swing by my house and pick me up, like, maybe this weekend, and I'll bring some camera equipment and we can just kind of head over.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll be standing outside with a camera.
Okay. Jesus Christ, there's so many people.
Yo! Okay, I gotta put this away.
Sorry.
So when did you start going to Grandma's crib?
Well, Grandma's crib has been there since I was born. So, like, when I was little, we spent a lot of time in CW and at Miney's, and, yeah, I feel like I, like, grew up at William and Mary also a little bit. When I was younger, I thought Williamsburg was just Busch Gardens, William and Mary and Miney's house, and the Dollar General near Miney's house, which is all kind of true. So that's, like, very interesting too, because I didn't want to go to William and Mary at first because it felt like I was just, like, going to home. And then I went on all these other college tours and I didn't like any of them, and then I finally toured William and Mary and I was like, oh, like, why does this actually feel like home already? Make sure you get the license plates. Miney, like, you know, spent her whole life playing piano, so she would just be in there practicing piano, waiting for me to get there. And, like, as I'm walking up the drive, like, through the door, you can hear the piano, and then, like, you open the door. It's just, like, so nice. It was like a washed over type of thing.
Yeah, as soon as we cross that bridge, I'm always like, oh my gosh, it's, like, upon us. We're entering the magic house thing.
I feel like this house was important to, like, lots of people, because one day they got a knock on their door. Someone asked if they could, like, spread their parents' ashes, like, in this circle, the driveway circle, which is, like, an interesting place to spread ashes. They didn't know the person. It was, like, the person who owned the house before them, like, when it was still a tiny little brick house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I guess the house was so different, but the driveway was still the same.
Is there a different person's ashes there, or were they like, no?
So this house is, like, accumulating people's ashes.
Maybe I should be buried here.
Yeah. Oh, and my cousin got married right here. My grandfather built that for her wedding, the archway.
Yep.
And he officiated there, and, like, the wedding was there. His name is Burchardus. Just hold him there. Okay. Yes, this is a kitty. Yeah. Okay, that's enough, I think.
All right.
Tour?
Sure. Let's do a tour.
So this room, we call the Great Hall, and
Or the living room.
And then this is where we do all the Christmases. The Christmas tree is always
right there. We've got a fire going. Everyone huddles around. And like there's like a running joke in the family that Christmas isn't Christmas unless it's at Miney's house. So, and this was built by Granddad, and Miney soldered. Soldered is the right word to use.
I cut and soldered all the glass, and then I lost a kidney, and I wondered. I asked the urologist if it could have come from the when you solder lead, you get a evaporation, gas, I guess fumes.
Yeah. So there's lots of lead in the
So I wondered,
groove hole.
and in my body probably. When he was carving this, he started it, and he had the trifoil going, it's going that way, and he realized that it was coming down the steps. So bless his heart, he got one done. I mean, just one of the trifoils, and then he had to start over, so that it was upright, as you came down the steps, instead of being. But we figured that was this room's supposed to be from the 15 or 1600s, so it's just fine if there's any wear and tear on it. And then he set me up in this room before it was finished with a board, a stand, a workstation, I suppose you'd say, that was about this wide, about the width of the window, that had a 90-degree angle on it here, so that I could make these windows. There's 61 panes of glass in each one of these leaded windows. Well, he thought I could do. Granddad thought it would be one a day. 2 years. But that was, I was also teaching 36 students and practicing some myself, and cooking and doing everything else that you do as a housewife, which I definitely was. We had fun. And Granddaddy did, like I say, did all the carving. And he put the beams up, and that was kind of scary. I mean, I thought this does not help for me to stand there and him to be able to feel or just sense the fear in my body. When I was not needed here, I didn't stand and watch him. I figured if I was up there, I wasn't going to be able to catch him if he fell. And if I was down here, that wasn't going to do much good either. I mean, he'd just follow me and be 2 for 1, I guess. I guess we started in the summer. Some of the kids from the Shakespeare Festival came over here, and but that was only, on Mondays. They had Monday off. And 1 or 2 Mondays, I think they came over here, because of course we were always feeding them. They came over, and I say kids, a lot of the people that were in the Shakespeare Festival were in their 20s, but they would be over here. Maybe the 2 or 3 Mondays they were over here during the whole process. But it took a while, and we have enjoyed it for a long time. It's held up. Richard did the carving of the coffee table, made the coffee table, and did all the heads on it. You should see me if anybody comes in here and puts their feet on the coffee table. They don't stay on there very long.
Who are all of these people? How did you guys?
Somebody asked if they were our ancestors. But one day, funny story, I had a 7-year-old at the piano, and Gigi was cooking something in the kitchen, and she had a problem. Anyway, she called me, and I left the room for a minute, and I came back, and the child was sitting there like this, and I said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "This is this piano." He said, "Yes, but there are all these people in here looking at me." Well, we couldn't afford. We started collecting about the time it became popular to have old paintings. And I found these 2. These were the first 2. And I found them down in Yorktown, in a place, I mean, it was unlikely. They didn't carry, they were downstairs. Get down. You don't sit in that chair. You don't get up in that chair. Come on. Yeah, you can sit in it, but don't let him, yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
No, you stay down, yeah. But I went down there, I was somewhere, and he was unpacking, the guy who owned the shop was unpacking that jug. And I stood there and watched him unpack it and asked him what he wanted for it, you know, and bought it before he could put it on sale. But I saw those two paintings and bought them down in Yorktown, and that got us started. And then we've just sort of looked. We bid for a couple of them online, you know, sight unseen, and just have collected them where we've been, where we've seen them since then. And then we saw, what's the tapestry? That came from New York. I think there was a sale going on in New York. It's a lot of it. I can barely remember what all the provenance is, but I do have a book that Granddaddy put together.
Miney wrote a children's book once about like
Yeah,
history.
so that
period.
my husband, bless his heart, that really just makes me cry actually to think about it, because it was like 4 days before Richard died. And anyway, here's the pictures of what it looked like before we had it restored. This one we had hanging over there for a long time, and then I guess when we got that one, we changed this one over here, which is really a better place for it, because I have to turn a light on for it, but it's very dark. And we had it cleaned, and this man wasn't even visible. I mean, to show you what, I mean, you know, and this child up here is from a large, I think that may be in here. Oh, here it is. See the arms? He's in front of somebody else. These people are behind him. It's kind of hard to tell what that is, but it's arms. But Richard wrote what we knew, what he was able to find out, dig out. And it was interesting because we got a call from Sotheby's, I think it was, which is one of the big auction houses in our country, and England, I guess, London, wanting to know if we still had, because they had traced it, this painting of these ships here. And Richard said, yes. Anyway, they I think all of that information should be right in here. This painting has always fascinated me, in that I don't know whether the child, I don't like to think that that's a child who is dead, and that those are all the possibilities that he might have been. Mm-hmm. So I just like to think that he's asleep, and those, and you know,
maybe he was just born, and it's all the possibilities
story.
that he will be.
It was given to me by my aunt Joelle. I had an aunt Nan, and her partner Joelle lived in New York. And apparently, when Joelle was growing up in Illinois, a soldier came in. It must have been during the Civil War. That doesn't seem possible, but it would have been, because Joelle was old when I knew her. Anyway, and he left his violin with her family. I don't know how old she was, but with her family, because he was going into battle. And he never came back to pick it up. And so I guess he didn't make it. Or maybe he was in prison. I don't know what side of the Civil War he was on or anything. But it's unique because it has a a head like this instead of the usual scroll that is on a violin. And inside of it, I think it says something, 1848 is, it was So this is a former student of at William and Mary of Daddy's who became a professional dancer, and he moved to Europe. I think he probably gave up his U.S. citizen. I hardly blame him at this point in time.
He was a professor at the college.
Richard was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What did he teach?
Theater. You might guess.
Miney, I forgot to tell you, I was traveling in Turkey and I met someone who was into theater lighting design who had read Granddad's book.
Oh.
Yeah. It
Oh.
was like his niche was also lighting.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. But out here in the hall, we have a picture of Granddad. See if you can pick him out.
Who? Me?
No, I think you already know who.
Well, I don't think
Which
he
one?
even knows. Has seen enough pictures of Granddad.
Oh.
It takes me a second. It's this one. It's the ears.
He's one of the smallest ones. And this one is Richard. Is that who you wanted to, honey? And Granddaddy painted that. It's a little stiff, maybe. And this is Rachel's. Here's your flower. You remember?
I did. It was my Chinese calligraphy final. And that's the phrase you like, but I forget what it means now. Fanqin, like something heart.
But Richard and I discovered that we are like fourth cousins once removed. That's why we're sort of dingbats.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's why Eve is a dingbat.
Okay.
I think fourth cousins once removed. I mean, anybody that's in
I was
Virginia
at the pool
is
with Miney
married.
once, and she was like, "Did you know that my husband and I were cousins?" Let's just keep going through the tour, please.
And I don't think any of my children learned how to turn the lights off. I don't know who trained them. But I leave a room and turn the light off.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not
We're
talking
filming.
about
You can
us
send me
right
back
now,
here.
but I realized that I immediately turned the light off as we left.
okay, wait. Let's finish the tour so that we can eat.
Okay,
I can
okay.
hear Sam Gruber's stomach go over some of the takes. So let's keep going.
You cannot, there's nothing wrong with my hearing, and I cannot hear your stomach. I'm okay.
Thank you.
I do want to point out the name of the Iron Maiden rooms on the door, which is a torture device. It's like a bed of nails that you sleep on, right?
You know, after he left, yeah, a friend of Katie's was here, and he slept in there, and we had a canopy on the bed, and he said something that reminds me of the Iron Maiden, and I didn't know what he was talking about, and that's when I learned what an Iron Maiden was. Do you know what an Iron Maiden is? Apparently it was a torture device that they would put people on.
So
Are you just saying no so that you can get it on?
the archway, so Miney's room's on the other side, but this was the kitchen originally.
We are in the kitchen right here.
Kitchen, and then it went
That was
to the living room,
That was the dining room.
dining room.
And this was, can you believe they had, yeah. And I don't know why we didn't cover that up. You know, go ahead and seal it all the way out so that there was no archway there. But that's what Rich did. There are two rooms in this house that are original to what they were. This was the front door, and this was the front porch. And as you come into this house, you'll see two flower boxes. They're sitting on the steps because we could not knock this porch off. Is why it's like it is. It was so well built. I mean, it literally would not knock off. It was slate. I don't know why. doing?
So I'm asking you a few questions.
All right.
I have them organized from times. And if you don't want to answer one of them, or if you don't remember something, we can skip. Just tell me.
Okay.
So I'll start really basic. Where were you born?
I was born in Richmond, Virginia.
And but you grew up in Tennessee, or no?
I grew up in North Carolina and Tennessee. We left Virginia when I was 5 months old. So unfortunately, I was not speaking. I would like to have had a Virginia accent, but I don't. So grew up in western Carolina and East Tennessee, which means, as my daddy was saying, would sound something like this. It's a right nice night tonight, isn't it?
I think you have a very iconic accent.
That's a safe word.
It is. It is.
You have an iconic
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Do you? This question. What is your earliest memory? I think you can pinpoint it.
I have a couple of early memories. One is sliding down the hill, I think, of my front yard with a a Tootsie Pop or something like that in my mouth, and knowing that I was not supposed to do that because it had a stick on it. And I had been told, I should not, be playing with a stick in my mouth. And another one was I backed up when I was 3 years old. There was a big cactus in somebody's yard right up the street from me. Yeah, and I had on a little dress, and it was hot summertime, I guess. Anyway, and I sat down. I fell over the bricks that were surrounding the cactus, and I was backing up. I don't know what we were playing, but so I sat right down in that cactus bed. So I have an early memory of standing on the toilet seat cover while the whole neighborhood practically, I think, was trying to get the cacti, the little things, out of me. And I don't remember any pain afterwards or anything. I just remember standing there, of course, without anything on while they tried to get all the little stickers out of me.
Well, I can see why that would stick in your mind.
So to speak.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so on the same trend, what was it like growing up with Janet as a big sister? And do you have a favorite memory with her?
It was great to have Janet as a big sister because I was her baby sister and she looked out for me. She did. One memory I have that was kind of sad because Janet was sitting on the step and a soldier walked by and I was toddling and my mother was out there, of course, but anyway, he wanted to know if he could take a picture of the baby who was toddling. And poor little Janet, who was just 3, was sitting on the floor. Why does he not want to take a picture of me, Mommy? And so, but that made an impression on me. I always spoke. If I wanted to admire a baby, I ignored the baby until I'd spoken to the child. It was.
Oh. And any funny memories with her in teenage years?
Yes. One time, a date which she must not have appreciated very much. Anyway, and I had a date. And they were leaving at the same time. And she turned around. He was in front of her. We had this tiny little entryway into our house. And she turned around and rolled her eyes at me and went cross-eyed, And of course, I was facing him. But I just had to say, good night.
Did he last long then?
He didn't last long. Yeah.
That's what I figured. And what do you feel like? Do you guys have vastly different personalities? Do you?
Yes, I'm afraid so. And I always admired my sister's personality. Janet was very outgoing and very happy. And not that I'm not outgoing, but she was, I think my sister enjoyed life all the way through. She was not. She was serious-minded. She was so serious-minded that she was actually destined to be valedictorian, which I never was destined for that. But she purposely missed a couple of points. Where she was in high school, you became valedictorian by if you had a perfect score or maybe even more than a perfect score on your whole record and on downward. And she knew that she had the top score. So she missed on the final exam. She missed a couple of points. So
Why?
She did not want to be the valedictorian. Now must have been from, I don't know how I know this. So it's from a very long time ago that I have this memory anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So she was valedictorian.
Mm-hmm. She was.
Mm-hmm. But not she was the second.
The salutatory.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, similar question. What were your parents like? Do you feel similar to them?
What were they like? Did I feel serious?
Like, what traits of theirs do you feel like you see in yourself? Or how would you describe them?
Yeah, I would. I would say I have a little bit of both of them. I think some of the funny things that they told me as a kid growing up, about their earlier adult life, were funny, and I think, that I feel similar to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And any favorite memories with them?
Well, we had a couple. Our family vacations were very different than what hit the scene later because of travel differences and probably financial situation as well. But what was the question?
What I asked favorite memories with them, but also I would love to hear about your vacations with them
I
too.
thought it was specific to vacations. I'm sorry.
Well, I also have one on here specific to vacations, so
But,
favorite memories, good vacations.
well, our vacations were either to the beach or to the mountains. We lived in North Carolina, and that's what we did. We'd go to the beach. And I remember on one of those, I had always heard that if you're drowning, you're probably going to come up 3 times. And I remember stepping in a hole, I guess at the beach when I must have been about 7. And my daddy was in the water. But my mother did not swim, so she, bless her heart, sat on the bank. That must have been dreadful for anybody who didn't swim and wasn't going to go even in the water to see her child out there. But anyway, I stepped in a hole, and I came up. And the 3rd time I came up, my daddy got me. Mm-hmm. But I was sure I was drowning because I came up twice, and nobody had gotten me then. So the 3rd time around, though, he was there. So.
Okay. And what did you do when you went to the mountains? Did you guys go camping? Did you get a cabin?
We got a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just stayed. I mean, it was probably a couple of nights. We didn't stay a long time.
Were you the one standalone musician in your family?
Mm-mm. My sister could sit down and pick things out at the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to have sings every Christmas. I mean, her whole friend group and church group and so forth would be over singing Christmas carols and having eggnog. Yeah.
That's so
Much
fun.
fun. Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay. So, vacations and mountains. Which one do I want to do? Did you have an allowance? We kind of talked about this in the other room a little bit. And what did you spend it on?
I did get an allowance. It was 25 cents, and a nickel of it went to Girl Scouts, a nickel of it went to Sunday school, a nickel of it went to church. It was 15 cents. I think I had a dime. Let's see, I had But I had one club that I had one thing I
Girl
spent.
Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Girl Scouts each week. So I had 9 cents, I guess, or 10 cents left over, where
And what'd you do with that
Yeah.
10 cents?
I could go to a movie at one place in Gastonia for 9 cents. And that
Whoa,
meant
you got a whole penny after.
and I had a penny left over. In those days I could buy a piece of candy at the movie. The other movie theater though I couldn't get in.
Why?
That was 12 cents.
Mm.
Well, I guess I had some, I could go to
That one had better movies or something?
but I didn't have any left over. Anyway.
Okay, and then did you ever get into trouble as a child or a teenager? And what was it for?
One big thing that I have not, I don't know whether I ever, surely I had to apologize. There was a young couple that bought a house around the corner. It was white. And of course they had no front yard because they just built the house. There was no grass growing. So a bunch of us little ruffians threw the mud clots in their front yard on that white house. And I would apologize now if I could, but
Oh,
yeah,
they knew it was you guys.
that was naughty. I don't know.
How old were you?
Old enough to know better. But I remember having to apologize for something. Can't think now where it was. But, I think a friend of mine was babysitting, and 2 of us, we put on our daddy's fedoras back from those days and stood outside the window where she was and scratched on the window. Scared, what out of her. So she called her parents, who were just across the street. And we had to run off in the dark to get away.
Did you get caught for that one?
No, but somehow they did know who it was. And so my daddy took me to apologize to her. And of course, I had to apologize. She was back home by that time. And I had to apologize to her in front of her parents. And I don't remember whether I was a friend of that little girl's or I don't remember that.
Maybe they recognized the fedoras as they ran away. All right. What was dating like when you were a teenager? And what are some of your more memorable dates?
Well, I can remember being given a Valentine heart-shaped box of candy. That's about as big as it was. Probably had 12 pieces in it. I allowed myself 1 piece a day. And I would debate over which piece I was going to have for quite a while before I ate it. And I was very young. And then I went to my first dance very young. I remember my parents discussing whether or not I could go, and the little boy lived around the corner from me, but he was 2 years older than I was. And so my mother even called me up. We lived a block from the junior high school. You could see the junior high school through this, because from the end of our street, right through the playground. And there was the junior high school. And would you believe it? The man who was the principal at the junior high school lived 2 houses down the street here in Williamsburg. I later discovered, when we moved in here.
Whoa.
And so he called the gal that I had in the 5th grade, in my 7th grade year, she came to visit her friend who was the principal at the school she was teaching there. And so he called me up and said, "Guess who's here? Who's visiting here?" I said, "Miss Hardy." Miss Hardy! And I had the little yearbook. We had a little yearbook that was 4 by 6 pictures. It wasn't really a yearbook, but that's what we had in junior high school instead of an actual yearbook. And I took that down there. She hadn't changed a day. Of course, it was my little 12-year-old self looking at her. But she was an old woman as far as I was concerned when I was looking at her. So, of course, this old woman hadn't gotten that much older. Well, I was 40 when we moved here, so it was quite a bit.
She got 30 years older.
She got 30 years older, but didn't look any different than she did when I had her in high school. In junior high.
I guess everyone looks ancient when you're in high school.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm coming back to this. So, what was it like dating? I know you had a nickname when you were dating.
I did.
Yeah, which was?
I was known as an iceberg.
Mm-hmm. And why was that?
Well, why, you have to figure that out for yourself.
No holding hands.
No,
No nothing.
no, nothing. Yeah,
No.
holding hands always comes first, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, depends on your personality, I guess. So where did you go? Did you ever go like on movie dates?
Yeah, one day I had, this doesn't seem possible, and I've tried, it kind of ran across my mind, I don't know why recently, but I actually did, I went somewhere in the afternoon with somebody, and then I had another date that night, but I have in my memory bank, but I can't tell you who they were, that I had 3 dates in one day, that one time. But anyway, that's all I can remember.
Whoa. All right, maybe.
It was probably a challenge to date an iceberg. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Did people get pinned when you were dating?
Mhm.
Did you ever get pinned?
I got lavaliered first, and that was to your granddaddy.
What is lavalier?
It's a necklace
So it's necklace then
and
pin?
then pin.
So what are I don't know the politics of this. What are the politics of the necklace versus the pin?
I don't know. I really don't. Remember, I'm an iceberg. I don't know if there were stages or what. And times have definitely changed since I was a kid and you were a kid.
Yeah. A little bit.
I would say times have definitely changed. In spite of the fact that I was an iceberg, I wasn't dumb. But anyway,
Speaking of getting pinned to Granddad, how did you and Granddad meet?
he says we probably passed in our perambulators, is what the word he used, when we were 5 months old on the streets of Richmond, because we were both born in Richmond, a month apart. And but my family left when I was 5 months old, and his family left when he was 6.
And where did his family go?
Where did they must? I don't know where they went directly from Richmond, but we met in Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Walter wasn't Granddad's daddy. Was in charge of shutting down. He was with the railroad, shutting down the old steam engine places when they shifted to diesels. And so I'm sure he was not a very popular man because that meant a lot of people lost jobs. But we met in Chattanooga.
In high school?
Mm-hmm.
You met in the hallways?
I don't remember necessarily the first time I ever saw your granddad. I may have met him. I take that back. I met him same time Holly. Holly will tell you this, cousin Holly. I met, she's so funny. I met him the same time you did because Holly's a cousin of mine. And we were at camp. There was a weekend camp for all the Episcopal churches in Chattanooga. The first weekend we moved to Chattanooga, and I can remember my mother telling me that it just killed. It came out on the bus on the way to the cookout, to the camp out place, and that's when I met lots of young people
And that's when Granddad knew.
in Chattanooga.
When that accordion came out on the bus.
I
He
don't,
said, I'm going to marry that girl.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Granddaddy. Yeah.
So what was your first date like? How old were you and what was your first date like with Granddad?
With Granddad.
With Granddad. Or you could answer both those questions. With Granddad, without Granddad.
Yeah. And with Granddad? No, it was just hop right to Granddaddy. We were at church camp, church weekend, I guess it was. And we were decorating for a dance that was going to take place that night. And I dropped, we were using some sort of stuff that was on a roll. It wasn't crepe paper, I don't think, but it was something, I guess it had to be something like crepe paper. Anyway, and I dropped it, and I grabbed it, of course, and it split my finger. Like, the finger basically hanging off. And Granddad and I were the only ones there doing the decorating. And so anyway, he taped that finger up and stopped it. I mean, I was bleeding. Mm-hmm. And we didn't date immediately after that, but that's one of my first memories of it. And I can remember going down to pass his locker casually. Mm-hmm. Like my class might be on the 3rd floor, but I knew where his locker was. So when bell rang, I would walk real quickly, walk past. So I said, and I gave him, one of the first Valentines I gave him, said, "My heart's not made of stone, so don't take me for granted."
How wonderfully punny.
Worked.
Okay. But you don't remember specifically the very first date? There was no...
I'm not sure what our first date was.
And then this was in high school, and then you guys both went to colleges, different colleges. Mm-hmm. And... Miles apart. Did you keep dating?
We did, but we did not, as we said in those days, go steady. We went steady that, like, his senior year and my junior year. And then when he left town, we stopped going steady. And didn't go steady again until, I guess, we got married. In fact, I had 3 months left of college when we got married. Mm-hmm. So, but we didn't go.
And how did Granddad propose? Do you remember?
Yes, oddly enough, we were sitting on the piano bench.
Oh.
Yeah. And he gave me the ring. And he was planning on doing it later, but I think he decided he couldn't wait. Anyway, gave it to me on the piano bench.
Were you trying to teach him how to play a song, or was he just watching?
No, I think I may have just been playing the piano, and anyway, came in.
That's really sweet. And the wedding, how was it?
It was on a Wednesday, but I remember my mother saying, because we wanted to get married, he could not get married until he graduated from Princeton because he was on scholarship. You could go steady or whatever. But we were both very religious, mm-hmm. So we did not participate in things that we weren't supposed to participate in until we were married. I'm being a little too personal here. We have a witness. but anyway, those times were real different than they are these days, I gather. Anyway, so we agreed with the minute. We had our sessions that you had to have in the Episcopal Church before a priest would marry you, and we talked to him, and anyway, we got married on a Wednesday night, and my mother said, "You can't get married on Wednesday night." I said, "It was great. We had the choir processed in, mm-hmm. singing 'Love Divine, All Love's Excelling,' and it was lovely. And then the choir went on off, and so it was great. Mm-hmm. And we were both very active in the Episcopal Church. So, we had two different ministers, the minister from the church where he was, and the minister from my church. There were 5 churches, I think I've already said that, in Chattanooga. And so.
Lovely. All right. taking a few steps forward. When did you know you were ready to be a mother?
When they told me I was pregnant.
Good answer.
You mean, did I anticipate and decide, let's see if I can be a mother?
Mm-hmm. Okay. There was no try run look with my cat, just to make sure.
What?
Like my cat we were talking about.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah.
And then if you were to do it over again, would you have waited longer?
To have a job?
Mm-hmm.
How would I know?
You're happy with where the cards lay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Good
there you
answer.
are. Yeah. You better not let Giga hear me say that I wish I had waited.
Well, she's the one that wrote that question.
She did.
Maybe she's
Bless her
trapping you.
heart. Bless her heart. Yeah. Did she?
Yes, she did. And we can go one by one, but what were Gig, Zach, Kate like when they were little? Could you tell right instantly that they were all different from each other?
You don't think about that kind of thing. I mean, you have a baby. There's this baby. You immediately fall in love with him, whether you want to or not. And no, I mean, I couldn't tell any difference about him. Katie, I remember, I would go up like at 10:30 in the morning and kind of stand over the crib, be sure she's still breathing, because she hadn't gotten up by 10:30.
Rachel was like that. Do you remember?
Really?
You remember trying to wake Rachel up at any holiday events, and she was like,
Oh, no, because
gone.
I guess by the time that you were remembering
That's
that,
so
I mean,
funny.
y'all were teenagers, weren't you?
No, this
Oh,
was when
that's
she was like 7. We were like 7.
Really?
Yeah, so it's really funny. It must be similar in that way. What about Gig? What was Gig like when she was little?
She was precious. She grew up in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to tell me what to do when she was about like 12.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's true of most little girls. She's got a pretty strong personality.
Yeah. It's gotten her far.
Mm-hmm.
And what about Dad? What was he like?
He was a cute little boy.
And how did you choose their names? Where did their names come from?
I think we decided, let's see, Gigi, Janet, my sister had just had Vicky and named her Janet Victoria, which was after both grandmothers.
Mm-hmm.
And Gigi was born the day, the day after, your grandmother, Evelyn, birthday was the day after we got married, so June 8th. And she was due, I think, on June 8th, so we debated. Anyway, we were in Iowa. We named her Virginia because she was born in Iowa. We were from Virginia, so that was how we came up with Virginia, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, and her middle name is Evelyn, which is after Granddaddy's mother, because Janet had already named Vicky Janet Victoria,
Mm-hmm.
which was after Ross, and we called her Vicky.
And the nickname Gig comes from somebody you knew, right?
Yeah, Gigi was what one of Richard's cousins or something had called another Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't say Virginia, and so called her Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the Gigi came from.
And Dad's name? Stephen Zachary?
Stephen, for some reason, had always been a name that I liked. I don't know why. And Zachary, I think I also squeezed the Zachary in there. I didn't say too much about it.
You just wrote it on the paper when it was time?
I was hoping that Granddad would like that, okay. Because I like the name.
It sounds good together too, Steve and Zachary.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate, her name's?
She has a family name Ellison is her middle name, and that's a family name. But I mean, it's just a family name that I happen to like. I mean, she could have been Ellie. I thought also, but we settled on Catherine. And Catherine is also a family name in the Palmer family. So that was good.
Hey,
Yes.
I gotta grab a water.
Yeah, we can pause. A lot of them are questions that Gig sent me. So many questions.
It was like she wanted to make like a 10-part docu-series. I can hear you. Don't forget I have a mic on.
Wait, can you hear this?
It doesn't sound like you're like sipping it. It sounds like you're like there's no liquid.
He was slurping it.
Yeah,
She was.
I'm ready when you guys are.
All right. So pivoting away from kids, back to grandkids. This is very broad. What is? Do you have any? What's it like being grandma? What's your favorite part? Any particular good memories? It's a 3-part. What's it like?
Parts?
What's it like?
What's it like?
What is your favorite thing about it? And then any particular really good memories. We can save the memories one for a second. You can start with the favorite part, or what's it like?
Well, it's great. It's great being a grandmama. Somebody else is getting up in the middle of the night, changing the diapers, most of the diapers, and I like it. It's been a lot of fun. Just I get to have y'all some of the time, and I wouldn't mind having you now that you're all grown up all the time. But that ain't going to happen, so I'm not holding my breath on that. But I wouldn't want it to happen because you should be off doing your thing. Okay.
I know it's like, it's like I'm a grandkid asking you, what's it like being a grandkid or being a grandma? And then any particularly good grandparent memories? I know it's so broad and there's so many grandkids, but
I always thought Camp Palmer was fun.
I loved Camp Palmer.
Was fun. And Granddad was so cute designing the Camp Palmer shirt.
I found a Camp Palmer picture book the other day. It's in my room, yeah. And
what was Camp Palmer?
So Camp Palmer was when all of the cousins got together. So Kate's kids, Zach's kids, and then Gig's kids, if they were in the area, or if they had time to come from wherever country they were in when they were younger. And we did all sorts of things. We went blueberry picking, and then everyone got to pick a different dessert to make every night with the blueberries. We had to learn songs on the piano. We would put together shows for the parents when they came to pick us up. Outside we have a Palmer Latchin Trail. I actually remember you complaining about Granddad once. You were like, I asked him to fix this one thing, but he's out sweeping the woods again.
Out sweeping the woods.
Maintaining the Palmer Latchin Trail, so we'd go hiking, and then we went to Busch Gardens, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to say the hike was going down here out the arbor, up here in this corner, and then going through the woods, and then going out, crossing over our driveway, getting back in the woods on this side, hiking down there, going on, coming back to where they started from.
It was called Camp Palmer, but it's basically all the grandkids squeezing into one house, all different kinds of activities. Sometimes we'd go to shows, a couple like Shakespeare in the Park things. Sometimes we'd have matching skirts.
Oh yeah, you made
those.
You made them. You sat in my lap and stitched. I mean, I had a very simple little skirt, and cut out. They had teddy bears on them or something, didn't they?
Yep.
And bought them all the same little blue or red T-shirt to go with his little teddy bears. But yeah.
And then like at the end, we would do our little show with like whatever songs we had learned on the piano that year, whatever dances we'd put together.
if somebody had painted something they wanted to show off, and then my granddad would come and they had the like printed certificates that he would give us like we were graduating. It was really cute. Okay, so that's a good takeaway. And then, what is it like being a great grandma?
It's lovely. It's lovely. She's very cute. And her sign language, she half speaks and half directs with, she has her sign language. That's how I wanted to put it. If she wants something to eat, or if she's sleepy, or so it's been fun. She's too far away,
Yeah.
but fine.
And then this one's a big picture moment. Do you have any advice for your grandkids, great grandkids as well, about picking a spouse and maintaining a happy marriage?
That's a hard one, because who knows? I mean, you don't know. You need it to have somebody who's not completely self-centered. I mean, that's one thing. And I don't know how to tell you. I mean, if you're, if you've fallen in love with somebody, I think first of all, it'd be kind of hard to fall in love with somebody who's totally, self-centered. So that's kind of hard to know how you'd, function, how you'd figure that out. But I have heard that question asked, like on a TV show or something, about, who would you want this person? Before you consider marrying somebody, ask them if you would want them to be, a parent of your child. And so that's a good question, and so that in itself would tell you a whole lot about the person as to whether or not they would be a good parent. I mean, you could dispense of the other questions probably, because if you didn't see them as somebody that you would want to be a parent of your child, that would tell you a lot about them.
Okay, lovely. Okay, now some personal questions. Less history. Well, some history. More specific to you. All right. A Scotty dog related question. So, if you can remember, how many Scotties have you had? Have you had any dogs other than Scotties?
My first dog was Colonel, and I think he wandered into our lives, but he was a puppy when he did. He was probably about 6 months old. And I don't know whether he'd gotten lost, but I mean, he wasn't wearing a collar anyway. Somehow he was given the name Colonel. I don't know why. My parents must have named him. I don't know. We didn't, I don't think. And he was a good dog. And I fell in love with Scotties when I was little. I don't know why.
Did you see like a picture in a magazine or something?
I don't know. Roosevelt had a Scottie, and that's the only place I can think that I even saw Scotties. I don't remember a neighbor. I mean, a neighbor didn't have a Scottie. Anyway, Granddaddy gave me one. I think it was our 4th anniversary, or maybe it wasn't an anniversary on our anniversary, but maybe it was Mother's Day or something. Got me a Scottie. We did have a dog from the Humane Society, first of all, and the poor dog had a problem, and I think that's why he had probably been at the Humane Society to start with. I wept and I wept, and I called 4 days later and I said, "Do you still have," and she said that dog was gone 15 minutes after you left him here. I said, well, that's good. So that I was glad, but you had to. I had two little people, and I guess I was pregnant with Katie, and I had to wipe that dog's backside he had some sort of issue, and that's why I think he had probably been returned. He was a sweet thing. Zachary would fall on him off the sofa. Zachary was about 19 months old, I guess. And I mean, just, playing with him. And he was not hurting him or, some kids will pull on dog, but he would just fall off the sofa on him. And that dog wouldn't didn't bother him at all.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have just wiped the dog's backside, but I was already wiping his eyes. And it just got him through. So I just, I wept and wept, but I took him back.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what the initial question was.
Just Scotty dogs. And
And
how the Scotty dog thing started.
Then I don't know. I've just always liked the Scotty, and Granddaddy knew that. So
Mm-hmm.
then when I got the first one, when I don't know, did I say that Zach was 4.5 or
Something like that. Your 4th anniversary.
So,
Yeah. And the ones I've been alive for were Hudson and Gilly and Paisley.
oh,
And then you also had Maggie.
Maggie. You didn't know Maggie?
No. Who else?
Oh, Maggie.
Maggie. I don't remember the other ones.
Maggie was the first one we had here.
Mhm.
And so that, your daddy may have gotten us Maggie
Really?
for Mother's Day.
That's so
Mhm.
sweet.
Mhm. And she was in a little picnic basket in our bedroom.
What a good gift.
Yeah. And so, he said, your Mother's Day present is upstairs. And I came upstairs and picnic basket lid was going like this, Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. So we just were in there playing some piano. Piano's a big part of your life. We kind of talked about it a little bit in there. But how did you get into it? How did you know you wanted to do it? How old were you?
Beats me. I do know. I walked in the music store to get my piano music with my mother. And I saw an accordion sitting up there. I said, buy me one of those. I don't think I even knew what it was called. And they were not in the habit of buying me whatever I said. I want one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, bless her heart. And I thought about this not too long ago. She must have taken note of that. Because then I started selling Christmas cards and trying to save my money to buy one. And so she rented one after, I don't remember how much of a time lapse there was.
Mm-hmm.
But she rented one, and she figured I could get that out of my system. And found the only person who played the accordion in Gastonia at the time to give me some lessons. And he played by ear.
Mm-hmm.
So I could read more music. I had been taking piano for 1.5 years, I think, 2 years, when I got the accordion. And I remember my piano teacher when I quit. She'll never get anywhere with the piano. And
She said that?
On the accordion to me. My piano teacher said, well, she'll never get anywhere with the accordion. And my mother said, well, she's not really trying to get anything. She just wants to try playing it. Mm-hmm. Which, I thought, as an adult, when I reflected on that was a very nice way for her to handle it. She just, kid wants to try playing it. Which, as a parent, I thought, well, that was very, very good.
Well, you also must have been really good at the piano for her to take a risk with renting and buying the accordion.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So do you know how old you were when you started playing piano?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we moved when I was like in the middle of 2nd grade. We moved from one location to another town, and so I missed out. I was taking dance, I think, and I missed out. They said I'd be behind. And I think they just didn't have the money. Mm-hmm. Honestly, they didn't have any money. And so then they let me start taking piano. And then it was after that I fell in love with the accordion. Anyway, that's about it.
And did you always know that you wanted to be a piano teacher?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. I just, did that. Here again, I was out here in the woods. No, actually, I did teaching in St. Louis too, and I was not sitting in the woods at all. So I started teaching.
And you played the organ at church too, right?
I did. They were desperate. But occasionally I would use the pedal on the organ.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. And then you've also done a lot of traveling. I always like to say you've been everywhere twice. Growing up, you said you guys didn't travel? You did beach and...
we went to the beach and to the mountains.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That was traveling back then.
So did you know that you wanted to travel? Where did this trend start?
I liked to travel.
Mm-hmm.
We traveled. We would save our money. We did not eat out. A lot of our, young friends ate out. We didn't have any money. Mm-hmm. We saved what there was so that we could travel. Mm-hmm. And we started traveling with Gigi and Zachary when Zach was 5 and left Katie with the grandparents when she was 3. That trip, I know, it was the first time that we had taken the kids.
What was your first trip ever out of the country?
With Granddaddy.
Mm-hmm.
And we went for 7 or 8 weeks. It was when we were traveling on a shoestring. Literally, back in those days, there were porters when you'd get on and off the train. And I can remember, no, you can't take, because you would tip them. And we would there was Europe on $5 a day. Mm. One of them was Europe on $10 a day, and there was another book that was Europe on $5 a day. And so that's the way we traveled the first time. And I worked in a bank as a teller a couple of summers before, while I was in college. And we ran out of money when we were in Norway, I think it was, and we had the tickets to get on a ship. Let's see, and we could get to the plane. We had the return tickets to get back to the States, but we had to get from Norway to the point of departure, which I think was Edinburgh. And so anyway, I called we used the last money we had we got on the plane. We got back to New York, and I wired or had enough money, a quarter or whatever it was, to call the bank where I worked. And I said, would you please send me so much money, because we're stuck in New York. And the banker, that I had worked for, sent me the money, or wired me the money, so that we could get home from New York.
And what's your favorite trip you've been on?
Oh my. Oh gosh. Been on a lot of trips, lady.
I know you've been everywhere twice.
I don't know. I don't know. I suppose. I don't really know, but I had a favorite. I went on one trip with Nadia, which was fun. Mm-hmm. That was fun. But I
remember that because you came back, started making limoncello in your closet.
Yeah,
after that
yeah.
trip.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that. Yeah. Yeah. Don't know.
No? Okay, skip. All right, we're almost done here. This is also a broad one, so you can hit skip if you need to. What are you most proud of?
Maybe I have to say my 3 children.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Great answer. What do you still not understand, and what do you wish you knew more about?
Yeah, everything. Whoa. Well, Seriously, I wish I knew. I do wish I knew more about everything. That's a rather broad answer, but a broad question. I wish I were more scientifically inclined. I wish I, knew more about science than I do. But I suppose that could have been remedied if I had ever put my mind to it.
You've been around for 85 years now.
Whoop.
Is there, in those 85 years, is there anything you would have done differently?
I guess not. I guess I could have gone back and maybe gotten a master's degree. But I suppose I could still do that.
You're right by the college.
I am.
What would you get it in?
Well, I really wanted to major in history when I was in college, and I knew I could not get out as quickly if I majored in history because I wouldn't be able to get all the reading done that you'd have to get for history. So I guess I didn't have time because I was trying to graduate early, which I did, so that I could work because I knew that my husband was going to go on to graduate school. So I would probably major in history. That way. Then I have read a lot, but not enough. You can never read enough.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay. What are some of your favorite holiday memories or traditions? Any?
Yeah, I loved having the family come. Yeah.
It's not Christmas unless it's Christmas at Miney's.
Yeah. Oh, how nice.
That's like Rachel said that on the phone the other day.
She did. That's sweet. Yeah. Well, I said I think I don't know whether she is still doing that or not, if she's going to fly in here or not.
Oh,
she said she was.
I think if you did it here, she would definitely.
Well, if I did it here, she might fly in here. But, excuse me, I only think it's fair to go to somebody else's house. Excuse me, we go back.
I think we can call it.
No, you got it?
Oh, wow, that's a long time. I better sit down with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.